Hey guys, Cindy over paper.old.new. I know it's been a while again. Yeah, it's been a hectic. I keep saying that. I keep telling you guys that. Actually, it's kind of fun because part of the hecticness has been my daughter's learning to play her violin finally, and they did a Christmas concert. It's the first one she's ever participated in because she's been homeschooling and now she's out of school. So she got to do a Christmas concert last night. So she had a lot of fun with that, and we've been preparing for it and all that sort of thing. So it's been kind of crazy here. As I had said before, that I wasn't really sure how this was going to go as far as the holiday season was concerned, but I'm going to try and get some videos recorded. I am looking at trying to go back and finish up some of these projects that I was doing with you before. I hope you're still interested in seeing how they turn out. I know it has been a while since we looked at them. I mean, I have the little kitten golden books. As you can see, I've been working on trying to get them sewn together and stuff so that we can move on to covers and get them done. And then we have our file folder projects that we were working on, and I really am enjoying this. I have been working on the covers of both of them, so I'd like to get back to working on those again. So today we're going to work on this. And funny story, I sewed, I had to cut this apart. So as you can see, I did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and I sewed them together, and I've given myself a 1.5 inch spine. So my signatures are a 1/2 inch apart, excuse me, and there's a 1/2 inch on either side. So plenty of room, I think, for putting stuff in the pockets and whatnot. Now, the funny thing about this is when I sewed it together, I was flipping through it and I come to the second signature and oh my goodness, I sewed them together upside down. So I had to cut it up the middle. So to put this back together, we are going to be doing a modified spine of sorts. And I don't know if this is long enough. I might have to get more. Yeah. So what we're going to end up doing is overlapping these on the new spine, or on the back spine. This was going to be a hidden spine. So I sewed them to file folder and then I was going to glue it into the book, right? So now I'm going to make a repair. So basically, if you do this and you make the same mistake I did, just cut up the middle of your signatures, okay? So if you've sewn them to file folder, just cut it up the middle. I know you don't really wanna, but if you cut it up the middle and then you have some scrap fabric, if you've used fabric or cardstock, whatever you've used to cover your spine back here, just get some more of it. Like I have this and I've got some more laying around here somewhere. I'm going to have to go find it. And you can fix it. And then all I did was cut it apart, and we're going to put the book together and glue that in. So I have my 2 pieces, okay, and we're going to build a spine. I have a piece of chipboard. Now this is 2.5 inches wide, so we're going to have to cut 1 inch off of this. And I think I'm going to try and cut the inch off before I cut the height, only because that way I've got a nice long 1 inch spine if I want to do a single signature with something. And it's not limited to this height. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try and cut 1 inch off of here. So how has everybody been? I have been running myself ragged back and forth. I've told you guys the drive, and I've timed it because with traffic and everything, if there was absolutely no traffic on the road and I didn't have to slow down anywhere, I could probably do it in 45 minutes, maybe. But it's a good 50 minutes to 55 minutes especially getting home in the afternoons. And then, as I've mentioned before, I then get home and dinner has to be cooked. And although I will say when I get home, sometimes I'm tired and I end up bringing stuff home to eat or, whatever. The other day I baked chicken and that was good. But it's just, by the time I'm done doing everything and I try to get in here, I don't have the time to make a video or do anything. And my weekends have been crazy because of the holidays. And my husband just got a new job, so we've been dealing with stuff with that. And it's just a whole lot. For Thanksgiving, I went away to my sister's for a few days to visit, which was fun as always. So my Thanksgiving holiday wasn't a period of time where I was like home and could record a bunch of videos, and I'm still having trouble with I look at my craft desk and I'm like, I don't know what to record. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of I haven't come out of my slump yet, I guess. Okay, so here's our spine. Now, I'm sure you all remember how to do this, right? This isn't the hard part. Although I will say I have not done, oh, you know what I haven't done? Okay, for anybody who has never seen me do this, I like to keep this extended spot so that my book, this whole thing is my cover. Okay, so I want my spine to fold here, where the edge of the strip and the spine connect, not here where the old little golden book thing connected. So what I typically do, let me get this heating up because we're going to need it. What I typically do is I cut the paper away right here. Now, what you want to try and do is only cut the one layer. Okay, so we're going to split it right along here and try to stay just with the internal layer. So this outer layer needs to stay intact if you can manage it. All right, and I'm going to just kind of fold this back as I go. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see in there that there's still white. That's the back of the outside cover. Okay, so we're just going to go through here and we're going to cut this free. And like I said, as I go, I try to fold this back because I want this gap. And if you can, this one's working out really nice because it's cutting, if you can cut along the cover to one side of the gap and make this whole flap one piece, that's how I prefer it. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes I end up splitting it down the middle and I have little pieces on either side, which, I mean, it still works. It's just a little harder to close it back up again. Also, you don't necessarily have to close it back up again. This is very tedious, I know. I'm going to get one done, and then I'll do the other one, and I'll come back, and I'll show you what we're doing. And that way, my glue gun will be warm, and I can show you what I do with this. So this channel, basically what we're going to do is we're creating a channel. And what I want to do is I want to stiffen up this fold. I don't want this to fold. And I don't want it to tear. You know how sometimes, see how that's torn away? So I don't want that. Just going to see how it goes. And I just keep working down the edge with my knife. So I'm going to work these free. Oh, this one's already split. If it comes this way, it comes this way. I don't really care which way it folds as long as I can get most of it folding in the same direction. So okay, and I want this to be pretty much, so we're probably going to have to do that on a glue mat. It still connects, and I'm still safe, even though that's separating. But what I'm going to do is run hot glue down that channel so it'll glue everything back together. And when I do it, I'll do it on a glue mat. So I'm going to do the other one now. And I'll be right back with you, and we'll fill them with glue. And I'll show you what I mean about stiffening up these edges. Okay, so, sorry, that took me a minute. So this is, oh no, did it shut off? hate it when it does that. I love the fact that it's cordless because I don't have a cord getting in my way. But it's very finicky. Like, if you turn it on and you don't mess with it, it shuts itself off. It's time to save battery. I mean, I know why it does it, but I was looking for my glue mat, which I do not see. Here it is. Okay, so basically, all I'm going to do is we're going to run hot glue in this channel. Okay. And the idea, of course, is that we want to stiffen up this spot so that, yeah. Okay, it's ready, and I want to use it before it shuts itself off again. I forgot to check because this is, okay. So I'm going to fold all this paper back. Okay, and you've got yourself a nice wide channel there. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to fill it with hot glue. Okay, and we all know hot glue dries stiff, right? So you're just going to put a bunch of hot glue in there. And then lay your paper closed. So, just so I don't burn my fingers. Lay your paper over it like that and close it back up. Okay? And this one was broken away from its spine, so I'm kind of pushing them together too. But this helps you, it does two things. So you're repairing a torn away spine and you're stiffening this fold right here. So filling this with glue is going to keep it from being overly flexible. It may still be a little flexible. This isn't a perfect fix, but it does give you, and the reason I do this is because, okay, first of all, I am not one that preserves the golden spine. All right. So I don't do that part. This closed back up. I closed too soon. So it's okay. I don't preserve the golden spine. Some people do that, and that's great. What this does allow for, though, it allows for you to not have to trim the pages. This gives you the full width of the little golden book. And I'm not too worried about glue mess. I mean, I'll clean it up as best I can, but I usually cover. So like along here, we'll get decorative fabric or cover with paper or, you know, whatever like that. So this, I'm not real worried about how messy it is. I would like it to be as flat as possible so I don't have anything like bubbling up or sticking up. Ooh, that was a big glob. Okay, and then you just keep going all the way down the book. All right. And like I said, and it needs to be a nice bead. So you want it to be a nice thick bead so that a nice clump of it dries in there. You don't want a thin layer. This is not a time where you want to. So if you can get, this will work. You don't need to use your expensive glue sticks because I know there's all kinds of glue sticks out there. You can get Gorilla Glue sticks. You can get, and then you can get cheap like Dollar Tree glue sticks. The Dollar Tree glue sticks are perfect for this. You just get it. Oh. Uh-oh. It seeped through in the one up there where it's. And my front cover usually gets some overlay with fabric as well, so I'm not worried about it seeping through right there where it was split away. All right. Okay. So that's one of them done. This glue stick is this glue gun is a lot messier, I will say that, than my other one. Now, you can see where this one folds really easy. This one is now stiffer. It's not perfect. It will still flex. I mean, if you bend it, it'll bend. It's not, but it has stiffened that up really nicely. So it doesn't wiggle so much. And then again, like I said, I'll put fabric on here. If you wanted to reinforce it some more, of course, we're going to be using the Tyvek and all that. So that's how I do my little golden book for making it so that you get the whole page. That's why none of my pages get trimmed. So when you open this up, where I'm sewing is, you can see the staple marks. Okay. So I've also seen where people just fold that. And I suppose that would work too. But this allows you to use the whole page. It also keeps you from having to trim on this side, except for what sticks out if you don't like that. If you want that to be even. This one hopefully will be a little easier because the channel is wider. Okay, so we're just gonna lay that over on there. And as you can see, I have a ton of hot glue seeping out. Like I said, it's a nice big bead that I stick in there. Which is why, for the most part, I just used whatever glue stick was in here. It's probably one of my good glue sticks. But if my glue gun had been empty, I would get my bag of, like I said, Dollar Tree cheap glue sticks, because this is not... What you want to do is make sure that there's enough of it staying in the gap. So I don't want it to all squeeze out. All right, so I'm just going to wipe that flat and then let that one dry too. All right, and you've got your kind of reinforced. Now, I suppose you could stick like a piece of, I don't know, a sliver of some sort of stick, down in there, like a little skewer or, something. You could stick something down in there if you wanted to and glue it down in there, and that would really hold it. But the glue holds well enough as far as, I'm concerned. The last little golden book I did, it's been a while, because the last little golden book I did was the popcorn book. And I did this with that one. So, and it worked really well. Okay, now what we're going to do, we have our piece of, okay, and you guys have all used Tyvek, right? Maybe? I don't know. This stuff doesn't tear. So if you're looking for it to, see how it doesn't, if you do get it to tear, it's not going to tear in a straight line. It's full of fibers. So the idea is the fibers make it really strong. If you've never gotten your hands on a Tyvek envelope, what I should do is just open it. I think. Let's see. See if it opens. There we go. Okay. So if you've never gotten your hands on a Tyvek envelope, I want it to be wider than my spine. Okay. And then I just have to make sure that I'm covering up the Tyvek. All right. Which I will definitely want to do, because it looks like the Tyvek isn't going to go all the way out over the glue. All right, you want a little bit of a gap. For anybody who's never done this and made their own spine before, you want a little bit of a gap. If you put it right up against your spine, your book won't open and close easily. It'll catch on itself. So you need a little bit of a space. It doesn't have to be a big space, but you need a space. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put this Tyvek on here. Now, the Tyvek does not have to be nice and neat and pretty, because Tyvek is not, and it can even be slightly short, because I have a tendency to trim mine off, and then if it's too, like if I look at it and that's still too long, I'll trim it off down here. And slightly too short for me, slightly too short is better than slightly too long, because I would rather, like if I put fabric on this side and then fabric on I don't want it to peek out by accident. So, all right, next step, we're going to glue it down. I like to glue my spine first. So I get my this is how I do it. This helps me to space everything correctly. So I'm going to take my book off here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the spine. Oh, and I went all the way to the top and bottom. I'm going to glue the spine on here. I'm going to center it relatively. You do want to relatively center it. I'm looking at my camera to see center since that's from the top down. And it's weird because I'm moving based on what I'm seeing in the camera, which is, I don't know, that's just weird for me. Okay, so there's my Tyvek spine on there, right? And then I can just lay my book, so this will be where the back goes, like that. Leave a little bit of a gap. You don't have to. You're going to end up, I'm going to end up covering it up anyway, but. Okay. And I'm putting this together because I want it to have time to dry, right? Now, if you want for extra reinforcement for your spine, you can put another piece of Tyvek on the outside. I don't always do that, but I have, and it does give you some extra reinforcement on the outside of the book, especially for the crease. So where it's folding and where it's opening and closing all the time, it reinforces that crease so that that crease doesn't tear. You know how these get real weak because they're just paper and the spines start to come away on the little golden books? So the Tyvek won't do that. So if you put it on the back and the front, you will end up with a nicely reinforced open and close deal there. Okay, so we'll just get our little spacing on there, glue these down, and then I can flip the whole thing over and make sure everything's glued down good. Let me do that. I will say when I do get in here, it does feel good to work on things. It's just whether or not you guys want to see me work on the things I'm working on. Because, I mean, these are old projects. I'm not, no excuses. I let them sit and I haven't been able to, get in here to work on them or anything like that. So they've been sitting and it's just, it is what it is. But I am excited to get back at it and work some more. All right, I might make the one that goes on the outside a little thinner. Okay, so if you've ever seen me do a little golden book, I'm very finicky about, I want it to come over to cover this part because this is going to be where I fold. If it covers these, great. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that. What I don't want to do is have to go all the way over and cover up any of the letters on the title. I don't like covering up the title. I think for some people it doesn't matter. For me, I don't like it. So I try not to do that. Oh, the other thing you can do is put grooves in here. So find your gap and kind of put a groove in there. It'll reposition the Tyvek. It'll slide it on the glue, and then you just put it back down where it is. Okay? And that way your grooves are set. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, except this one's a lot thinner. Because again, I don't want to have to worry about trying to I only bring my fabric over. So if I was going to put this fabric on the outside here, I would only want to come over maybe like that far. If that, maybe even further over, because I might want to put some other trim. So I don't want to have to worry about this Tyvek sticking out. It probably could have been a little wider though. So, all right, so we're just going to put glue all over this piece and we'll glue it down. And then that'll be the cover put together, and I'll show you how I'm going to put the how I'm going to fix the upside down signature. Okay, so we put that in there like that, and again, I'm going to do the grooves because this is where your book's going to bend, right? So you want to make sure that basically what you're doing is you're making sure that this isn't too tight and that the book will still bend at those spots. So if you glue that across there nice and tight and straight, when you go to open and close your book, it's going to pull, if that makes sense. It's going to pull in these spots. So you want to get those grooves in there so that it gives some slack. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to let this dry. And I'm going to find the fabric and we'll come back and put this together the rest of the way. Okay, I think it's dry enough. And as you can see, it bends right where I want it to and doesn't really bend where I don't want it to. So that's my new spine. All right, so I've got all this room that I wouldn't have had if I had used the original spine folds. All right, so there's our book. Now, what I wanted to do was, I heard my dog walking around. If I closed her out, she's going to bark and I'm going to have to let her in. So I'm going to cover, I haven't decided about the front, but I want to cover the back, definitely. Back and front. I'm going to cover the inside and the outside. And I do this for two reasons. One, I just think it looks nicer. This is all, in this particular version of this book, I like the little list and I like all the original details, but in this particular version of the book, it's had something on it that I had to scrape off and it's kind of messy. So it was dirty and I had to clean it up. So we're going to, and I thought in honor of it being a little golden book, I would put some golden flowers in here. So we're going to put these gold flowers on the inside of this book. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue, I'm just going to glue this to the inside of here. Now, if you're going to cover the inside covers of your books and you're going to do like trims and stuff with your spine covers, you need to make sure that you cover your backs first. Or at the very least, pay attention to what you want, like how you want it to overlap. Does that make sense? So if you want your paper underneath and your spine trims to overlap it, or if you want your paper to come right up against your spine and you not be able to see any of your spine coverings or anything sticking out. So you need to, make sure you make that decision so you know what order to put your stuff down in. And the only reason I say that, it sounds like something really simple and you're like, well, obviously, I've done it. And I've looked at it and went, why did you do that? I mean, it happens. So just be mindful of it before you go and glue it down. Okay, so we have that all glued down. And then basically, of course. Also, the solvent glue will take the gold off of these papers. So be ready for that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the side of the book as my straight edge. Sorry, I'm tossing things everywhere and things are falling off of things and messes are being made. And okay, so I'm going to cut this right along the edge of the book. And I just use the book as the straight edge because, I mean, well, it's raised enough and my knife isn't going to skip up on top of it, so it's all good. And then we have a nicely covered inside to our inside back panel, right? Okay, now for the front, I kind of wanted to keep this little golden book belongs to and put a nameplate here. It's whether or not I want to keep the rest of this. Anyway, okay, so what I was saying was I would love to cover the front. Well, I mean, actually, I would like to make a book plate, but there is some of that smudgy dirt from the back on this front in spots. So, I mean, I suppose I could embellish around it, but I don't know. And I need to know before I put this down, because if I want to cover this again, first of all, I'm going to need the other piece because obviously that's not big enough. So it would be like that. And I suppose I could cut a hole in it right there. Yikes, right? I know, me too. I mean, I could cut a hole in it and put a border around it and make it all pretty. What do we think? It would have to be cut right about there. And right about there. So we're gonna measure this, sort of. Right about, oops. Right about there. I hope this is right. And nothing moved at the bottom. And right about there. Okay, so we've got our little square. And look how square it's not. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do my cutting according to where this falls on this paper. And then hope for the best. I mean, because I still have it whole, maybe I can do some rearranging. I don't want to do too much rearranging because I don't want it has to fit. So, oh, I also need to check. I'm going to go from here. To about there. We can only hope. Okay. And then, oh, that's too far out. Still too far out? Sorry, guys. No, I went quiet. I'm concentrating. It's kind of like that whole walking and chewing gum thing. Okay. Ooh, that's much bigger. Ooh. Problem with that being much bigger is it's going to be not straight if I go end to end. So I'm going to try lining this up on here to there and hope for the best. Again, like I said, I'm planning on decorating around this square. So hopefully any little minor mistakes will be salvaged, I guess. So now, of course, your other option to do this would be to take measurements. So cut your piece to fit your book, and then measure how far down, how far, make measurements, and then you can go from there. That's a lot of, I did a video like that with cutting out what do you call them? Cutting out windows so that you could cover a window envelope. Yeah. Where you take the piece of paper and you make measurements. Okay, so it's definitely going to need some decorating, but that's okay. My plan was to decorate it anyway, so... And I'm going to make a book plate to stick down here at the bottom. So I'll just have to decide how we want to do that. I might even use washi tape to do it. That would be fun. Frame it in washi tape or something. I don't know. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this piece of paper down. And we kind of still get to keep the little golden book, but we still cover the dirt, like the grunge. So it's going to go all around, except obviously where the window is. And because I'm going to be decorating around the window, hopefully it doesn't matter. Wait. Hopefully it doesn't matter if the glue doesn't come all the way to the edge of the frame around here. Okay, so that's the inside cover of our little golden book now for this one. Remember, I did 5 of these. I still have them all. They're all still here. I want to see how this repair goes, because I may actually start sewing mine. I would say junk journaling, the one thing that I still have not mastered is sewing signatures, especially if I have to sew them all to one spine. I am bad at it. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, I'm just bad at it. So it's not so much sewing one signature to one piece. So if I could sew a signature to one piece of file holder like this, and then glue them individually in, that I could do. If I can make that work. I don't know. We're going to find out with this one because I didn't have a choice. Well, I mean, I suppose I could have undone the sewing and then redone it, but as I just told you, the sewing is the hard part, so the less redoing of it that I can get away with, the happier I am. I can't even tell you guys. It's... All right, so we're going to cut this off. Can't usually cut across, but since I'm using the book, maybe it won't be so bad. There we go. I thought this was hanging off of here low, but I might be wrong. There is some glue sticking out of there, though, so let's cut that off. Okay. All right, and that's the inside of our little golden book. Okay, really cute, right? Okay, and what I thought I would do is this is the fabric. Now, it goes up the middle like that. It is going to be... So one side of my spine has fabric. All right. So I'm going to slide this the other way a little bit, because this has overhang. So it doesn't need as much on this side. It's the back where it doesn't have a... Is this too short? I'm going to be really upset if this is too short. We're going to be stretching fabric, guys. Because I think I cut it or tore it slightly too short. So we're just going to get it down there and hope for the best. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on here. Okay. I'm only going to glue it in the middle. Well, put it all down against the thing there. And we're going to pull. Pull because it's too short. Like that. Okay. There we go. And I'm hoping that I didn't center it. That's what I didn't want to do. Which would be funny if I got this perfectly centered and, you know, half the time when I'm trying to center it, I can't. That would be how I would. Okay, now the reason I didn't glue the edges down is because I want to put some lace under here, but I need to know where to put it. So I have my folder and it's going to sit inside the spine on my... All right, so we're going to trim it on this side. I'm just going to trim it. The overhang is too far. Okay, so when I fold that up, this has to sit in there like that. All right. And then the other one will sit at the back. Now this one actually has to get glued down first because I am going to keep that lip of fabric. Okay, and they'll fit in there like that. Nice, right? Just like that. And this will be good because let's glue this one down. Remember what I said, we got to get it up to the fold. So this needs to sit right in the fold, and I need to make sure it's even top and bottom. And I can trim excess fabric up here if it's too long. I don't know why I made that overhang so much, but I did. Okay, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to put glue all over this piece of... The other thing this is going to do is hold my strings because I don't sew these very well. My back strings, they're a little loose in the back. So this also helps with keeping the strings kind of tight, I guess. I'm trying to make sure that my pages are sitting inside the confines of the book. Now, little golden books, remember, little golden books are, the pages are as tall as your, what do you call it? Your covers. So there is no leeway. Oops. There's no leeway. So your pages should be even with the top and bottom of your book. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make them even with the top and bottom of the book. All right. So get that one in there really good. Okay. And again, I'll trim that up there. That one, on this one, it's too high. So I'll trim that off up there so that it's not... There's a piece of me that wants to stand this and let it dry a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a clip. And I'm just going to clip that closed. I'm going to let it stand there. And I'm going to take a break for about 10 minutes and let that set. Okay, so truth be told, I ate dinner. But that's been glued in and it's holding. So we would just glue the other one in. And they're like that. We have a decent amount of room in the middle. Right here. And my thing is if you've got a gap like this, I feel like you could decorate. So like you could put some trim or something in between there so that when you're opening it up, it's nice and pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on and I'm going to clip it and we're going to do all that. And then I'll come back again after it dries and we will put in like lace and all that, the trims, and get this finished up. And this, I have an extra large knot right there, which is going to make a bump, but I'll cover it with trim and you won't notice. Okay, so we're going to put this in here like this. And I'm going to try and get it up against the edge like I did for the other one. Oh, and we have to make sure that we're top and bottom. The pages are top and bottom set. Oh, this one's wanting to not cooperate. Okay, so I'm going to try and stick that down over here. Now, this is where the knot is, so I know why that's not sticking. The rest of it should stick down pretty good. We'll make sure everything's even. Nothing's sticking out at the top or the bottom. Okay, we're good. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to let that set up. And then we'll come back and we'll add the lace and we'll kind of try and finish this up. And then the only thing left to do will be to like do the spine and the trims and fill the pockets. So I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Okay, so this video is going a little weird because I've had to do a lot of stopping so that we can wait for things to dry. Okay, well, here it is. So the pieces of the spine are in. They're glued in. Okay, and like I've said in the past, or like I said earlier, in the past, like it was, forever ago. This will probably get a piece of trim or something up the middle here to like decorate this because you can see the overlap and I'm not going to leave it like that. Also, this is sticking up, so it's going to need a little more glue under there. I know. No, we're not going to wait for it to dry. We're just going to move on. You also have to be careful about how you put them in because, of course, if you get them in there crooked. And the other thing about this is if you wanted to like if you wanted to space them closer together or not have them, because I've got them right up against the fold here. So if you wanted to space this, if you wanted to put the signatures closer together and not so close to your covers, because I might have put them a little too close to my covers. But having said that, the book works okay, obviously. I mean, it's a book. So here's all our pages and everything's sewn in, everything got caught. I did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this one. I meant to do a 5, but it looks like everything caught okay and we seem to be in good shape. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was I want to put this down before I glue this fabric down. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of a trim. Well, I think we're going to put a little bit of trim. My only issue with it is it's white, so it's not showing up real good. I thought maybe it would be okay against the gold, but it's kind of not showing up real good. You can use trims, you can use ribbons, you can use... I need something that will pop out against there, though. I should have known the white wasn't going to work. I also should have checked it before I came back on here because I had all that time where I wasn't doing anything. Okay, here we go, guys. I wonder if it would look cute for me to do this instead, in which case I'll glue the fabric down and this will go over the top. These should have like a pull tab that undoes the... They probably do, and I just didn't find it. Okay, so we'll put this down and then we'll put this on top. Yes, that's much better. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. A little smusher because I'm going to need it for this. And we're just going to put the trim would probably do better using hot glue, but I think we're just going to try Fabri-Tac. The gold's coming through the fabric. It's almost like a stain. That's interesting. Okay. I want to let that set because it's pulling. I don't want it to pull off of there. And then we'll put these up the thing like that. And actually, what I think I'll do is I'll turn this on and let it heat up while we glue the fabric down on the other side. Okay, and we'll cut pieces. All right, so we're going to go from that flower to this flower. And we'll do another one same length. So I'll just grab this. And we'll cut this. So my daughter had a Christmas concert. Told you guys about that, right? And then she's doing mock Congress. And she's a little disappointed because apparently this is the first year she's done anything like this. So, I mean, you're not necessarily expecting your first year for it to be like you win all the prizes or anything. But I think she was hoping that she would at least get consideration because she did really well writing what she wrote. And it was kind of an important thing. I mean, it depends on whether or not you're into the eating healthy thing. She was looking for, she wrote a mock resolution for trying to produce and preserve foods more safely. So not quite so many, chemicals in our food, which I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't know. But anyway. Oh, and I forgot we still have to do our book plate in our window. That might be something you see on a flip through though, because this video is getting kind of up there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it in on this one. Okay, so that's our thing. This seems to be heated up. So we're going to go ahead and put our trim on here. Just a little at a time. I usually try to put down some glue, lay trim in it. And then move up the book. So moving forward a little at a time. Only because, especially in the winter. So, because it gets chilly here. But, I mean, once the hot glue starts to harden, that's when you get your, those like hard strips of glue that you can feel through all the fabric and everything. So I want to I want to use it while it's still hot so that it, right. And some glue on the outside there. All right. So that's one side. I think that's cute. That's not straight. Guys, I told you my eyeballs are crooked. Of course, it doesn't help that the pieces of fabric aren't exactly straight. So like for this one, it's going to be on the fabric on this end, but it's going to start coming off of the fabric down here. And I need to make sure that I do that. Because I will follow the edge of the fabric. This will also make if you can get it on here right, it'll make the edge of your fabric look straight. Because, it covers up the crooked edge. I think I need to push that glue stick in there. Ooh. Yeah. It wasn't grabbing. Ooh. Grab that time. All right. Okay. So there's that, which I think is really cute. Now, again, I have to decide. That's going to be my only issue with this. You can see right there where it's not glued down very well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this all the way down. All right, I'm going to try and fix this gap and then I'll be right back. So there's a little bit of a strip there. I don't know how I would fix that. I suppose I could put some other kind of something on there, but I don't know. It would start looking like I'm purposely layering things where they don't belong. So I don't know. We're going to trim the top here. I mean, yeah, the top there and the bottom here. These scissors are bad. Okay. All right. Now, the outside. Okay, so we have an outside cover here. This is my... And my thought for the outside was going to be, again, I was thinking of covering the back. See how well that matches? I love that, actually. I really love that. Okay, well. Let me get... Okay, so this is the fabric I picked for out here, just because... I like this color with the green bench. And I thought it was fun to tie something a little brighter in than just, you know, more neutrals. So I put, not to mention there's some brighter, there's a little bit of color in the book. So I think we'll do that. And then we're going to do this. As a trim along here. Okay, so we're going to do it right along the inside of, oh. We're going to do it right along the inside of the, what do you call it? The barcode. Give me time, I'll get it. I am going to admit to not being able to tell whether or not this has a back or a front. But if the only way you can tell is by the tooling thing that's holding it together, that's going to get covered. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to go up along here. Now, as I had told you before, my goal is to not cover up words. So when I do this, that's always my like my edge, my limit, whatever you want to call it, where I kind of stop. We're going to go up a little bit more. Ooh. Oh, don't do that. Let's see, it comes right out right next to the F, so that should be perfect. Okay, just like that. What I was thinking, I wonder if I could do, like if I took a strip of this and I put it, this is what my brain does, by the way. You guys always, I'm always saying to you, this is why I don't do this stuff on camera. I usually bring it to you after I've done it, because these are the places my brain goes while I'm not looking. And then we flip it over. We do it down the other side like that. And then I sew it up the middle. I kind of like it. Okay, give me a second. Again, I'm going to go do something off camera. I'll be right back. All right, so this is going to be our our thing. And I might put it on this way only because I think it's going to hang more over on the back. So for this to be wider on the back won't matter as much. And sitting right on top of it like that. Yes. Very cute. I love it. Okay. Now let's get this on here because then we have to put some of this on the back. No. But this is doing the complete cover. So getting it repaired after I made the faux pas with the spine. Well, I made the faux pas with sewing my thing in upside down. This was getting it repaired and getting the cover completed. I want to make sure the corners are good. I feel like that's always where I end up with problems. Okay. And then right down on there, like that. Trying to hit the edge of the book cover. Two edges, the bottom edge and this side edge. Is the book cover not straight? That's hysterical. Okay, well, the bottom, I guess I can trim. So we're going to try and line it up on this edge, and I'll worry about the bottom when I do the cutting. Okay. Now we're going to do just like we did before. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to use the edge of the book as our guide for cutting. So we'll just take this, and we'll go down along here like this. Yep. And then we'll go along the top. These are in the way, so I'm going to move the pages. And then we're going to go right along here like this. Ooh. We're going to move our flower because he sticks out the top. And I don't want to cut him. Okay? And that moves that over there. Now that stuff can be used as cards and things in the book. As like a little matching element. Okay, and then I'm going to go along this bottom edge because it's at an angle and I just want to make sure that anything that's overhanging gets cut off straight and flush. Okay, so we have that. Okay. And there we have it. That's the back cover. Okay. And then putting this on here. It's going to go just like that. Like that. Okay. And we'll have to, I might have to tack that down so that it stays on the either edge. Because otherwise, as it folds around, these stick out. The little wings. So I might have to tack that down. So give me a second. Trying to work through all the little things that I'm finding. Okay, turn this over. This was going out to along. Let me see. I want to mark where I'm putting my glue. Okay, we're going to put it right there. I recorded this video in 2 parts. I mean, there was all the stopping and starting because of glue drying. And that last glue drying session that you guys sat through when we glued the second signature in. Yeah, I turned everything off because it was late at night. And I came back. So this is being videoed in 2 parts. The problem is the first part was, you know, pushing up there close to the hour mark. And we're getting a lot of time in on this one too, and I'm a little worried that there's not going to be enough to edit out to make this a reasonable length. Having said that, it's kind of a big project. This cover project that I had taken on. Is everybody ready for Christmas, by the way? Speaking of Christmas, guys, you gotta head over to my shop, see my Christmas kit. I did one this year. I'm so excited. I had this plan in my head for how I was going to schedule my year and how I was going to do all the things I wanted to do. And then I put my daughter in school and I'm not homeschooling anymore, so I'm never home. So now it's all going out the window. All right, let me tack these edges down and I'll be right back. Okay. So that's where we are right now. Cut this off. And I'm thinking what we'll do is I'm going to glue this on here. I want to glue this down, but I'm going to try and line it up with the front. If there's going to be a problem, I'd rather it be on the back of the book than the front of the book. So I'm going to kind of try and do this number. So we're going to so what I'm doing is I'm lining the edge of the fabric up with the white and then folding onto the spine. Okay, all the way down, lined up on the white, and then kind of working the spine on there, like that. Okay. Okay. So there we have that. And what's nice about this is with this lace, it's not tacked down in the middle. So if I wanted to add some like little embellishment buttons or something on there, I could do that. All right, now what I want to do is, well, let's do this. I'm going to put glue on here. And I'm going to smush it because this fabric is really thin. It's not like, it's just really thin fabric. So we're going to smush that and we're going to put that on there. And then I might not have to hot glue it down. I was going to hot glue it to the lace, but I might not have to. Let me just get it on there back and front, and then I might go back and do that later on. See, so I did have a little bit of a problem with my gapping here. And like I said, I'd rather it happen on the back than the front. Yikes. That's a lot of glue I don't want to waste. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing back here, and I'll just have to deal with the gap at the bottom. And that's more because of how I did the lace than it is because of the fabric, although the fabric could also be crooked. These are the little imperfections that occur that make them handmade and unique. Okay, so that's that. And then I can decorate further to cover that up. Right? Okay. Oh, I like the way that turned out though. All right, guys. I think I have kept you long enough on this cover project. I'm going to trim all the little strings. And we've got an extra piece of lace here and here. Just clean all this up on the bottom. Okay. And then on the top, and I'll let you go. So this is where I am on the little kitten books. They are at the point where they can get sewn together and the cover's done and all of that. And they turn out, I mean, I love little golden book journals. They take me forever, but I love them. All right, guys. That's the 4 little kittens. I know I'm kind of out and about and all over the place with posting, and I keep telling you guys I will get it under control as soon as I can. It's just this whole school year is brand new to me. I haven't done school activities in at least 5 years, and some of my older kids didn't participate as much as this one wants to participate in things. So my time gets confiscated from me. So I will be back with you guys hopefully soon, and we'll look at the file folder projects. I know I haven't come to you with that, and I do want to get back to those so that we can finish them up. If you have yours and you were patient and stayed with me and waited, that's great. If not, you can just maybe come and see how I finish mine, and maybe it'll give you an idea for a future project. I don't know. But I will see you as soon as I can, and I'll talk to you later, and God bless everybody for being here. Bye-bye.